Good morning, everyone. Today I am going to explain the convolution theorem and what is the meaning of convolution. The convolution between two functions is denoted by the symbol star. It is an operation. You are given two functions, let's suppose ft and gt. They be defined on the interval 0 to infinity. Then the convolution of ft and gt, which is denoted by f star g, is defined by f star g in the integral going from 0 to t fu gt minus u integrate with respect to u. So this is the meaning of this symbol, this star. This is a convolution between two functions which is given by this integral. Right? Same way, if you are having the operation addition, means you have to add the elements of this function and this function. So here this addition means you have to add the elements of these two. Here the symbol of this star means this symbol is said to be convolution, and the meaning of this star is you have to evaluate this integral. For example, let's suppose our ft is t and gt is, let's suppose, 1, and we have to find out the convolution of f with between f and g. It means we have to find out the value of the integral 0 to t fu. So replace t with u, gt minus u, which is 1. After integrating and substituting the limits, we get this is t square by 2. So this is the convolution between these two functions t and 1. So convolution means we have to evaluate this integral. Now what are the properties of these convolution? So the properties are, the one is convolution satisfy commutative property. Either you find f convolution with g or g convolution with f, both are same. Similarly, it satisfies the associative property, means first you find the convolution between g and h and then with f is same as that first you find the convolution between f and g and then with h. So it is satisfy the associative, commutative, distributive property. First you find out g1 plus g2 and then take its convolution with f, or you first find out the convolution of f with g1, f with g2, and then you add it. So it satisfies the distributive property also. F convolution with the null function or the convolution of null function with f, both are 0. So these are the properties that convolution satisfy. It satisfies the commutative, associative, distributive, and null. However, f convolution with 1 is not same as that f, means 1 is not identity over here. Here this star is not a multiplication, simple multiplication. Here this star means you have to evaluate the integral of these two functions. Right? So f convolution with 1 is not equal to f. One can see over here your f is t, your g is 1. When you find the convolution of these two, this is t square by 2, which is not equal to f. Here f is t. So f convolution with 1 is not equal to f. So 1 is not a multiplicative identity over here. So these are the properties of convolution. Now the next is the Laplace transform of convolution, and that is the convolution theorem. So we are given two functions, let ft and gt, these be two piecewise continuous functions defined on 0 to infinity, and both functions are exponential order also. Then the Laplace transform of f convolution with g means Laplace transform of this integral. So we have to write down the value of this convolution. Directly we cannot write the Laplace of the f star with g. We don't know what is star over here. We have to define that star. So this should be equal to the Laplace of f into Laplace of g. So the Laplace of f convolution with g is the Laplace of f into Laplace of g. So this theorem is very important because we can find out the inverse of the product of fs and gs. This is your fs, this is gs. So whenever we are having a product, we can apply the Laplace inverse using this convolution theorem. This is f convolution with g. For example, let's suppose we have to find out the Laplace inverse of s upon s square plus 1 whole square. One way we have to make the partial fractions and we have to apply some another property. The another way we can use the convolution. We can write this as s upon s square plus 1 into 1 upon s square plus 1. Okay, so this is your fs, this is your gs. Using the convolution theorem, what is the inverse of this? What is the Laplace inverse of this? This is cos of t. What is the Laplace inverse of this? This is sine of t. So using this convolution theorem, the Laplace inverse of the product of these two is the convolution of f with g, means this integral. gt minus, that means sine t minus u. So the Laplace of this function is this one. We can use another property also, but using convolution theorem, we can write down the Laplace inverse of the product of two functions. So that will be the Laplace inverse of f convolution with the Laplace inverse of g. Now just see the proof of this theorem. We can prove it from the left side as well as from the right side. So let's consider the left side. We have to find out the Laplace of integral 0 to t fu gt minus u du. Means that is the integral 0 to infinity 0 to t fu gt minus u du into e to the power minus st dt. So we apply the definition of Laplace. This is this thing. Now we have to reverse the order of integration. First of all, see the limits. Your u is going from 0 to t. Your u, let's suppose this is your t, this is your u. Your u is going from 0 to t. And the limit for t is 0 to infinity. So this is the region. So now we have to reverse the order of integration. We have to first integrate with respect to t, then with respect to u. So now we have to take a parallel line. Since we want to integrate with respect to t first, so we take a parallel line to y-axis, because over y-axis we are having the limits for t. So over t is going from u to infinity. Now over this region, what is the minimum value of u? Over this region, the minimum value of u is 0 and the max value is infinity. So after changing the order of integration, we have this thing. So what we have 0 to infinity, u to infinity, fu gt minus u dt, e to the power minus st dt du. Now this is independent of t, you can take outside. Now we can apply the transformation. We can put t minus u variable to be some another variable z. It's a function of t, so dt is dz. Whenever your t is approaching to u, your z is approaching to u minus u0. Whenever your t is approaching to infinity, z is also approaching to infinity. So after applying the transformation, the value of this will be what? This is the integral 0 to infinity fu integral 0 to infinity e to the power minus s. Put the value of t over here. This implies t is u plus z. G of z dz and then du. You can take e to the power minus su outside because that is independent of z. Now just see here, it is a function of z alone, and after putting the limit you will get the finite value. So you can take outside. Similarly over here. So you can separate these two integrals. And this is nothing but your fs. This is nothing but the Laplace of g, which is gs. So the Laplace transform of the convolution between two functions is the Laplace of f into the Laplace of g. So this is the proof of this theorem. Now using this convolution, we can find out the Laplace transform of, first of all, find out the Laplace transform of the convolution of t and e to the power t. Find out the Laplace of this, the convolution. So by using convolution theorem, this will be Laplace of t into Laplace of e to the power t. So that will be 1 over s square into 1 over s minus 1. So the Laplace transform of t convolution with e to the power t is 1 over s square s minus 1. One can find out the Laplace inverse of 1 over s minus 2 into s plus 3 using the convolution theorem. So using convolution theorem, Laplace inverse of fs into gs is f convolution with g. So first of all, find out the Laplace inverse of 1 over s minus 2. It is e to the power 2t. The Laplace inverse of 1 over s plus 3. This is e to the power minus 3t, right? So the Laplace inverse of this will be e to the power 2t convolution with e to the power minus 3t, which is the integral 0 to t e to the power 2u e to the power minus 3t minus u du. So we can simplify this integral. It will become e to the power 2u e to the power minus 3t e to the power plus 3du. You can take e to the power minus 3 to outside because that is independent of u. E to the power 5u integration is this one. So when you put the limits, you get e to the power 5t minus 1 upon 5 into e to the power minus 3t. So this is the function whose Laplace transform is this one. So in this way, we can apply the convolution theorem and we can find out the Laplace transform of convolution or Laplace inverse of the product of two functions.